All right, welcome back to Press Turn, a video game podcast. Lot of stuff happening, but before we go on, I would just like to bring up something important. I think it's very crucial that we recognize success stories, as Activision Blizzard has rolled out their roadmap for Overwatch 2, which is great news because following a roughly year-long investigation, what are you doing? Um, we have
I
found
didn't know
out
this is how you were
that
going with it.
shut up, you're ruining the bit. We have found out that the directors board at Activision Blizzard have found out that there has been no evidence of sexual harassment or discriminations at all within their company.
They're in the clear.
Yes, absolutely. So congratulations to Activision Blizzard. We know it's been a tough time for them.
So hard.
Yeah, like just you know, like felt like a lot of things were just fumbling and everything. Just
Did
like a lot
doubt
of
him
pie
for
in
a
their
minute.
face. Like it's crazy. I mean, what a momentous victory,
They
Jonathan.
lost so much stock.
Well, not that much stock, but it has been on a slight decline.
So much stock.
Yeah. But like, I'm sure like this was just great to have happen just in time for the announcement of the Overwatch 2 roadmap, where we are going to be seeing two more character announcements, as well as a couple of map changes. I actually don't have that up. Anyway, the point being is like, um, I hope everyone realizes that, uh, like, you should always look at these kinds of stories as very telling. And it's really unfortunate that whenever a video game company decides to launch something positive, um, in this case Blizzard in particular, I have to sit there and cross my arms and squint really hard and just go like, this is bait. And I immediately have to go searching online for any news articles outside of video game release talk to discover what is going on the outset of this. But consume product and think of nothing else. So have fun with that. Anyway, this is Press Turn, a video game podcast where we try to have fun, I suppose, because video games is supposed to be fun. I I guess, but whatever. We will continue the
Whatever.
charade of video game enjoyment as we have to talk about quite a lot of news with
Oh yeah.
video game releases and stuff. I mean, of course, we did have two episodes go up very early with Devolver Digital and Xbox Bethesda. Sorry, I didn't really feel like streaming the Summer Games Fest in particular.
Meh.
Yeah, but we did talk about it in our Devolver Digital um, reaction. So if you want to check that out, I'll maybe I'll try to figure out how to put it up there. No, you gotta point like up above you because that's where.
Above
Yeah,
like this.
yeah, I think so because that's
Okay.
where it should probably be. Um,
Okay, cool.
yeah, uh, yeah, I think I'll try to figure that out because I'm trying to learn how to do more stuff with YouTube and everything.
Cool. And
Uh,
hey man, you want to talk about successes. Shout out to you because you did a great job with setting all that up and all I had to do was just walk in and put on a microphone and you did all the censoring to that entire 30-minute to 40-minute show. It was well done.
yeah, I got really shocked when you said that thing at an hour and 9 minutes in. When you said something so heinous, I could not believe it. I had to find the biggest censor ever because it was blowing out everything. this is obviously a joke, but hopefully some of you fell for that and went to go see it right now.
I fell for it. I was about to go look for it right now. What did I say? How dare you call me out?
Well, you could, I guess you could also skip to the part where we just both mark out at the Plucky Squire when that dropped.
Yeah, that looks so good.
It genuinely looks really cool. I'm very excited about that one for sure. But yeah, before we talk about more games, I guess we'll talk about games on the side. So, Jonathan, let's start off with you.
Okay.
What'd you do?
Let's see. What did I do? I honestly didn't do much. I've been working hard through the summer, and in-laws have been here, and we've been hanging out with them. So video games have been kind of low. Oh yeah, my phone. So I'm the worst guy to talk about this, but I tried Diablo Immortal, and I was really impressed that I had a full-ish Diablo video game with really good graphics on my phone.
Okay.
But that's about it, because I think I maybe played the opening and got my class character, and then I, of course, had to do something else busy as, my life demands, and then I went back to playing Dragon Ball Legends and just been playing that gacha. But I have been playing some RuneScape still. Not much there. Just I started a new account and I'm recollecting everything, so it's really old news. Really nothing exciting there. Honestly, I think my life has just been work right now, so hasn't been much excitement.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I hope you realize that you kind of sound like a hypocrite for trying out Diablo Immortal.
oh, because of Blizzard Activision.
I'm kidding. It's fine. It's fine. Like, look. At the end of the day, we can talk about all the terrible industry stuff that's going on, and
But they're clear, Sam.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's true.
But they're clear.
I mean, the allegations aside, being cleared out, like whatever happens moving forward,
doesn't matter.
Like, yeah, it's like, yeah. I mean, okay. On a more serious note, like, yeah, it might seem hypocritical to actively consume video game product, because it would just be easier to ignore it. And like, well, yes, technically that's true. At the same time, like, I think it's like, it's one of those things where, like, ultimately the individual has to make the decision themselves if they're okay with that or not. I mean, not to necessarily, like, drag his name under the mud, but like, with all the allegations surrounding Michael Jackson, whether or not those are true, some people choose to believe it, some people choose not to, but like, even then, like, a lot of people are still able to enjoy his music as well.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think about Joe Morgan in our GUG group.
Mm-hmm.
He's got someone close to Activision or Blizzard, and they're a good Christian family, and they work or am closely related to them, so he supports them, and that's my mentality.
Yeah.
I'm supporting the people who want to work hard and are sincere and are trying to stay there to change, better, improve the name of that company. That's what I'm there for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's perfectly fine. Now, on me on the other hand, I couldn't give a crap if Activision Blizzard just burned down in a fire.
Crucify!
But that being said, I'm not gonna go out of my way to tell uh like people I know, let alone people I don't know, looking at you, social media, um, to just go kill themselves, for example, just for enjoying things that they like. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like uh, like things like quality and stuff like that. You know, that's I think things like pointing out the quality of a product or something like that, I think that can be up for discussion, and I do feel some people have trouble distinguishing that from as like genuine criticism as opposed to or they interpret that as like personal attacks as opposed to genuine criticism of such a thing. And I think
Oh
it's
yeah,
just important
that's.
to like keep that in mind. I say that as
Mm-hmm.
someone who actively still buys like Capcom fighting games, and I know like they've had like a really bad track record lately, and it sucks, and I hate that. But at the same time, like being a fan for it for such a long time, I think Capcom has still has like a lot of that passion and creativity that they still carry with other franchises, and I know that those uh, types of passions still exist within like their fighting game department as well. That's why I'm still willing to give them a chance uh, I because I do feel that there is enough evidence to show that like they've done it before and they can do it again, and uh, like there are still some things to appreciate even in their failures. I mean, yeah, Street Fighter Cross Tekken was a real mess. I mean, maybe not as much as Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, but you want to talk about a game that just had like the sloppiest launch ever and continuously sloppy upkeep as well. Street Fighter Cross Tekken is pretty up there.
Are they still
Um,
trying to keep it up?
no, I mean, I think at this point it's very safe to say that like nothing's really happening with that game anymore. Like support has discontinued for a long time. Um, and of course, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, not even lasting a year before support just ended with that game. That was a real tragedy. Um,
Wow.
and like,
Wow.
yeah, public opinion was really skewed for that game as well when that came out. Oh my goodness, is that showing up in my audio? The construction work outside?
I haven't heard anything.
Okay. All right. Anyway, sorry. Um, and yes, of course, Street Fighter Five, terrible launch. Although I think they did genuinely manage to bring it back very well. I'm very happy about that. Um, so yeah. What was my point? My point being is that we uh, like we should try our best to uh, separate our personal feelings, but also at the same time, we shouldn't ignore like uh, we shouldn't completely like avert our eyes from the real things that continue to surround the things that we enjoy and are passionate about as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well said.
and I mean, like 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 I wouldn't want people who continue to work at Blizzard to have to continue working under such awful conditions. Like I would want them to be able to uh, work in better conditions, of course, more deserving conditions, I would say. Um,
Right.
and as I'm like, I'm actively searching for a job in that industry as well right now. So obviously I have more of a personal stake involved, moving towards
That's
that.
true.
So like yeah, like um, it's important to consider as well. So yeah, that's it. I'm rambling at this point, but anyway,
Well said.
what else did you do with your time?
Well, I did keep up with all the showcases going on at the Summerfest.
Yeah, I heard between you and your wife, you went through like 7 showcases.
Yeah,
What were the other showcases? I only know of, like 4 or 5.
they were really small ones, indie ones.
Okay.
I think last one, the one yesterday was called E6, um, and it had like maybe 8 or 10 indie games to show off. A couple of them we've already seen from others.
Okay.
Of course, we watched the Xbox showcase on Sunday. Monday there was what's it called, Gorilla Collective, and they had one Saturday and Monday, and I think Tuesday was E6. No, Tuesday was. I don't know if there was anything Tuesday. No. We watched one every day, but I can't remember them all. One of them might have been. I know definitely one of them was like the wholesome collective,
Yes.
where it showcased a whole bunch of wholesome games. Um, and of course Summerfest. Yeah, and the Devolver Digital Showcase.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was something to watch every day. There was even some that we didn't see. There was the extended Xbox showcase, and there was the Assassin's Creed celebratory 15-year showcase. I I wanted to watch it, but I went and did something else.
Oh, okay. I don't think I caught that either. Honestly, I just found a highlight reel by Engadget on YouTube and just watched that.
Dope.
Uh, the editing was a little bit more liberal and was like really tight in terms of like showing off all the trailers.
Mm.
So I had to go back and look at the ones that interested me more. Um, there was a there was a bit of uh, there was a bit of a confusing moment where I'm just like um, where it was like Hideo Kojima makes his announcement of his project with Xbox, and then um, it just immediately cut to the Starfield trailer by Bethesda, and
Mm.
I thought that was the project that Kojima was working on, and I'm like, this is an interesting thing. It kind of looks like a general action RPG. Okay, but then I tried to find the full trailer and realized to my embarrassment that it was actually the Starfield trailer, and going like, I got bamboozled by Engadget and myself. So
Arrgh.
that was fun. But yeah,
So that's all I pretty much did this week. So now it's your
well,
turn.
I mean, I was gonna ask if there was anything that stood out to you.
Okay. Well, before I answer that,
Okay.
what are we mainly talking about today? Because
Uh,
this,
yeah.
I got a list.
Okay. Okay. Then you know what? I'll go next, and then we'll circle back to that. How about that?
Cool.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Yeah, because I got kind of a bit to talk about too, as well as some. Oh my goodness, that okay. That list is pretty long. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
and my wife's is also pretty long too.
yeah, and I found like a surprise announcement that I'm kind of like I kind of want to pull a everybody shut up because I can't believe this happened. So anyway, yeah. So obviously over the weekend I was busy with recording and editing our reactions to the Devolver Digital Showcase.
You got that out so fast.
Uh, yeah. And then I had to re-upload it because I realized the resolution was all wrong, so that was fun. Uh, but it's fixed now. Don't worry. Um, and then had to do the reaction to the Xbox Bethesda showcase on Monday. or Tuesday. No, no, on Sunday. That's when it was. I'm thinking of the Capcom thing, which nothing to really write home about. Honestly, there wasn't really
That was the
much.
other one, the
Um,
Capcom one. Yeah.
well, I guess like I say there wasn't really much, but I suppose like there was some more elaboration on uh Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, and just like a sneak peek into the roadmap for that. There was some information given about Resident Evil 4 remake, um, which seemed cool, but like wasn't really much to get super excited about personally. Uh, in terms of like actually playing games, nothing much besides the usual suspects. Been playing a little bit more of Genshin. Um, let me see here. Some Strive on the side. Stepped back into Vampire Survivors for a bit again. Neon White and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge are currently sitting in my Steam library waiting to be played. So we got that. Oh yeah, and I also tried out a couple of demos for You Suck at Parking, which is an indie game about parking, obviously, on kind of a micro machines type of setup. Uh, it's not too bad. I can't really say much else. It feels pretty fun. Like it's very frustrating though because you can only continue to move forward. Like you can't move back or kind of like plan it out. You kind of just have to do it while continuously moving forward um, when you park. Uh, but I can see the enjoyment in that. It just stresses me out because I'm just like I want to do it perfectly and not being able to go back just frustrates me. Yeah, basically, I turn into a big baby. Um, and also I played a demo of Blocky Dungeon. Um, I don't think this was shown in any showcase. It was just a game I heard about on another podcast where it's basically a Tetris based roguelike dungeon crawler where you have to build the dungeon out, but you also have to clear lines at the same time. Very interesting concept, actually. I like it a lot. I hope it comes out soon because I would love to play that game again, more fully realized. Um, yeah, I mean that's all I can really say. Like think Tetris, but uh, as a dungeon crawler. So um, like you have to take turns. You can only move a certain amount of spaces and stuff like that before you have to throw down another piece. So you can kind of take your time, or I guess you could really just focus on clearing lines. But eventually, you have to reach the end of the dungeon. So, um, yeah, very interesting. Not much else to say. Very fun concept. There was this uh, demo called Beautiful Mystic Survivors with some very risque art that I can't even show. Basically, I guess like a waifu version of Vampire Survivors, but it seems kind of dull, honestly. So
Oh
I don't
dear.
know. I mean like
The
obviously,
waifu's not worth it. It's a dull game.
well yeah, I mean I don't know. Like the art looks nice, I suppose, but like in terms of gameplay, it's very dull. Like which is funny to say because Vampire Survivors gameplay is also dull, but somehow very addictive. So it's like like after I played this demo of Beautiful Mystic Survivors, oh my gosh, that's that's a mouthful of a name too. It's not very fun. Um, I immediately tried Vampire Survivors, and was just like, I don't know what it is. Something like Vampire Survivors is somehow crafted in a way that it feels perfect. Where it's like any other game that tries to emulate it doesn't feel quite the same. Um, I think I think like the power ups and the weapons in the demo for Beautiful Mystic Survivors. Oh my goodness, I'm already getting tired. Uh, they they weren't as fun, and I don't know if they have anything like the weapon evolutions in Vampire Survivors. It didn't really feel like the characters played any different. Um, I was able to complete like 3 runs in a row without even really trying anything. So it like the progression doesn't feel as good as in Vampire Survivors, where um, if you know what you're doing, you don't have to try it all in Vampire Survivors. But learning how to get to that is all still takes some luck, um, as well as finesse, as like understanding the mechanics of the game. So yeah, nothing much else about that. I tried out another demo called Diluvian Ultra, uh, and it's like a Doom clone, I suppose. Um, Very odd looking game. Kind of weird mechanic with leveling up. Uh, where like you have to collect a certain amount of blood, which then gives you points to level up like your power or agility. Things also called discipline, biomancy, and toughness. But apparently, as you increase one of those stats, you increase hunger. And I didn't get far enough to really discover what exactly that means, but I'm guessing it requires it's like energy usage or something like that. I'm still not really sure. Or maybe it took health, I think. Uh, I'm not sure. Like, I didn't really play too far enough to experience all of that to really understand how that works. Definitely weird, um, but seemed interesting. I kind of liked the art style. Everything is like aggressively red and fleshy, uh, alien-ish type of hellish landscape, I suppose. That's about it. I did also look into the updated Street Fighter 6 page, which actually revealed a lot of information, but I will go into that after you, Jonathan.
Okay. So I'm guessing it's my turn to go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm trying to think of a good way to, I don't know, maybe give like a sentence of like what these games might be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so let's see. I'm gonna go down the list. I'll try. I'm obviously I'm not gonna hit them all because all of these are not mine. Some of them are Courtney's that she thought was cool. Um, so let's see. Batora Lost Haven looked really good. It looked like that isometric action roleplay looks like Diablo gameplay looks really good. Plus the world building looks really nice and colorful. Um, story sounds story sounds nice, unique. I saw the trailer with the puzzles, and the puzzles looked just challenging enough. So I thought, yeah, cool.
Oh yeah, I remember
Flintlock,
seeing this too.
yeah. And then these next three are actually from the Xbox showcase.
Okay.
High on Life with Rick and Morty's Justin voice actor.
Oh yeah, right.
When I saw that the guns were alive, I immediately thought Stranger's Wrath from Abe's Odyssey.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, the little critters are alive just like the crossbow. That's really cute.
Yeah.
But
Uh
this looks way more Rick and Morty, and I'm like, okay, this actually looks really funny.
yeah.
So I just might.
That
So
that's
also,
wait, sorry.
no, go ahead. There's a joke I'm gonna launch into next.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like it's really funny because I didn't really have that same reaction. I was just kind of like, "Oh, wait, the guns talk?" It- And it's like it wasn't even kind of like a man, I'm excited about what they're going to say. It's more like a, "Oh, is this going to be a Borderlands thing where like most of the time nobody shuts up?" And I was kind of dreading that, unfortunately. That's how I looked at it
Probably.
though. Um I'm a
Okay, hang
very
on, hang on, hang on. So
yes.
you don't like it when there's so much talking.
It it kind of depends. I feel like the reason why it gave me like High on Life gave me that idea of Borderlands is because in Borderlands, dialogue is not very well paced in a way. And also I feel like with a lot of modern games where they try to have dialogue, it's a very delicate issue where it's like you're going through an area and then it's just like people can't stop talking, and I'm just like, can I like appreciate this area that I'm in right now or something, or like let me like soak in the atmosphere. But then meanwhile someone is going like, wow, look at all this stuff, and someone else is going like, all right, keep it together, and another one's going like, yeah, we gotta like get to the next thing. Like everyone's got to have something to say, and it's always like something where it's like,
Oh.
we gotta have a joke. But we also have to push the narrative forward, and we also have to direct the player to like this next thing. And I'm just like, give me a break, you know? Like, it's
Oh, okay.
it's one of those things. So
Okay. No, I get that. You've got a good point there. No, you're right. Um, yes. I feel that sometimes. I
mhm.
feel that in a different way because I've spent my college career in literacy. So when I see those moments come up, I'm sitting there going, "This is what they are calling character development."
Yeah,
Yay! Oh, you're the funny one. You're the serious one. Oh gosh, you're the woman. Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
girl,
no, yeah, and you're the girl.
who are you?
Yeah,
I am girl. I do
yeah, I
things.
get that. I get that, and
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So, but that's interesting. You find that annoying for a different reason other than you just want to just sit there and just like let the virtual breeze hit your face. Just be like, ah, this is the
Okay,
windy valley.
calm down. I'm not talking about any olfactory sensation or anything like that. It's just like,
I said
but
virtual.
yeah, but I mean like, but that's the thing, right? It's like, I feel like when it comes to storytelling in video games, right? Um, it's it's one of those things that it's like it's very difficult to nail that properly, and it's because video games you get to experience stories in a more interactive way compared to like reading a book where like it requires you to visualize a lot of that information on your own, which is good, but not it's not quite the same sensation as if like um okay, so like for example, in Skyrim, you wake up in a carriage and you're bound. And as a player, you're just kind of like, oh, I guess I was expecting to have control right away, but I guess I need to figure out what happened to me that got me into this situation where I'm 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 my hands are bound, and then it's like later on it's just like, "Oh, I'm about to die. Wait a second. I like can I didn't even do anything. I don't even know what I did actually.
Did I hit continue or new game?
Yeah. Um, like, uh, and that it's like that is something where it's like it's it's uh it's storytelling more directly, but then like once all that stuff happens afterwards, you get like one one clue about like where to go next, but pretty much aside from that you can basically go anywhere in Skyrim, right? Like the journey you take towards discovering um, the world of Skyrim itself starts there. And you know, like it's kind of that same thing with Breath of the Wild. Like Breath of the Wild forces you to go through uh, tutorial dungeons on that Sky Island before you can even explore the rest of the world. And then from there, you could go straight to Ganon if you wanted to. Like it's one of those things where like because it's an interactive story, um, giving the player the ability to control the story of their playthrough is what elevates those games to, I would say, a higher point in terms of interaction, which um, which elevates that storytelling in a way that's like maybe the game is not necessarily good, but it makes each person's playthrough more significant to them specifically, as opposed to something that is like narratively is very good, well structured, and has proper beats and everything, and is just overall a very good story, like in The Last of Us. But I mean, like there isn't really much flexibility in terms of how you play that story. It's like, well,
Mm-hmm.
you ultimately have to kill people in The Last of Us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, you know, in Breath of the Wild, your ultimate goal um, is to defeat Ganon.
Play the game.
Yeah, yeah. That I mean that's it. So
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, and I'll finish off your thought because that's really good. In my mind, I compare it like D&D, like having a good DM versus a bad DM.
mm,
A bad DM will construct the whole story for you and not give you any leeway. A good one will let you do whatever you want within the rules. And to that, I see, I see that. When I played Breath of the Wild, it finally hit me. This is what a certain amount of gamers really like. They like freedom. Just give them the game, let them play it. They don't need the tutorials. They don't need the arrows telling them where to go. They don't need to be handheld. They just want to play it themselves the way they want to play it.
mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, not everybody likes that. Not everybody wants that. And you'll find plenty of people who love to have the hand holding and the story beats where all they have to do is either press a button, like in Resident Evil 6, or walk from one hallway to the next. And that's all fine. It works. It gives the developers enough money to keep doing what they want to do, and it gives those developers enough money to keep doing what they want to do.
That is very fair.
I get what you're saying, though. Your preference? Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Clear. No problem with that. I I don't know if I figured out which one is my preference yet, but we'll get there.
Yeah. Anyway, High
And
on Life does look interesting to some degree. I'm just very worried about the dialogue is all. So
I hear you. I'm okay as long as it doesn't dilute to maybe Tiny Tina dialogue talking, or like the old PS2 games where the same or no, I'm sorry, like the Lego games where the same lines are repeated every like 3 minutes.
oh boy.
Yeah, that's the kind of dialogue that I don't like, because I want to explore the game or play my own game inside the game, and they're just like, it's like, shut up. Anyway, so now that we're done with that,
Yeah.
there was this other game. I don't know, Silk Song. I think that's what you call it. It looked pretty good. I
Oh,
don't know
I
about the
haven't heard of
bug
that
thing.
one. Do you know?
Yeah. No. I didn't even catch the studio name, and I can totally get away with that because half the time I never do pay attention to the developer. That's my cardinal sin. Um, yes, Silksong coming finally within 12 months is just a big sigh of relief to know that there's a window to my torture,
Yeah.
and it's closing and closing and closing and closing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yes.
uh,
The Silk Song copium still continues. I felt it was a little mean of me to post that Hollow Knight clown meme in the chat,
get good.
but I figured it was very appropriate because I don't know what people were expecting.
Oh
It's like
gosh.
Team Cherry will finish it when it's done, and you know what? They're working on other stuff in the meantime too,
It could be
because like all that content that they did for Hollow Knight is insane, and the fact that
very.
it was mostly free, um,
Yeah.
it's just like, are you guys sure you don't need money? Like
Yeah.
it's it's concerning, like
Guys, we haven't heard from them. Pour more buckets of money down there.
yeah, like it's one of those things where it's like I don't know if Team Cherry has other revenues of income at all supporting them. So it's just like I'm wondering if it's just like, did Hollow Knight actually do that well for them to just continue without needing to rely on DLC purchases or anything like that?
That's a good question.
Yeah, so
Maybe one day they'll finally come out and talk to us.
maybe. In any case, we're just gonna have to wait for Silk Song.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Some other
Shaw.
games that we don't have to wait for. Maybe. I'm gonna do like a rapid fire
Okay.
and go through them. So Ravenlock, the Alice in Wonderland game looked pretty good. Flintlock, Siege of the Dawn looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Infinite Guitars, Redfall looked good. Um, let's see, yeah, some of these look like Courtney's. Oh Lord. And now as I'm reading them, the rest of them sound like something she would enjoy. Railbound, Lost Twins 2, Pen Pal Princess. That's not mine. That's not mine.
What? I don't know.
The Wandering Village. I remember that. The giant village that's on the back of like what looks like a mutant dinosaur monster. That looked pretty good.
Oh, okay. I guess I missed
Uh,
that one.
there's a game and it's literally spelled OU in capital letters, and I really gotta look this up because I can't remember what it looks like. Oh gosh, and there's an ad, so never mind. Midnight Girl, Spirit Swap. I'm gonna try and remember if there's many. Lost in Play. I've been waiting for that one for 2 years. Finally happy that one's coming out.
Lost in Play.
Lost in Play. It's a point and click adventure game, but it's got whimsy and it's just right up my alley. Anything else?
Oh yeah, I think I did catch this just by chance. Yeah, I do like the art style of it.
Yeah,
It's
same.
yeah.
I I will really look twice at a game and definitely play it. Maybe not even worrying about what type of game it is if the art is really nice. That being said, I also have TMNT Shredder's Revenge on my desktop waiting, calling for me,
Oh
but I am not answering. I'm not answering. Um,
yes, not yet.
and not yet. It is not time yet. Um, Also, this didn't even show up on a showcase, but I got a code for it to review.
Hmm.
But Ollie Ollie World's DLC, The Void, is coming, and I'm going
Yeah,
to
that's right.
try that out and see what happens with that.
That's cool.
Anything else? I mean, there really were like quite a few indie games that were looking good. Really good presentations with a lot of like the indie games coming out this year, and others that were just, oh, it's another farming sim. Pass.
Well,
We caught ourselves saying, why do cozy games either have to be about farming or about dealing with death or both?
I don't know.
And then I couldn't really say anything because the showcase, the Summerfest, was all scary games in space.
Yeah.
So,
It was
so
a
you
very
know,
it was very it started to feel very awkward where it was just like, oh, it's another space horror game. What's happening? Like, did
what's going on?
did
Did
every
everyone go to the same like literary conference?
did everyone watch Terra Nova or something?
Everybody copied the same notes as the smartest kid in class.
Yeah.
One final game I just remembered.
Okay.
Wrestle Quest. I
Oh.
don't know much about wrestling, and I don't know a lot, but Wrestle Quest looked so good.
Whoop. Excuse me. Okay.
I do love RPGs, and that's definitely a turn-based move with the turn-based game with using wrestling moves to defeat your enemies, and you have to hype up the crowd during the fight. And once you hype up the crowd enough, you can unleash the best attacks. I'm like, oh, this looks fantastic.
Yes, of course. You must type
So
to win.
you must hype to win.
Yeah.
So, a lot of really great games coming out soon and next year and in the next 12 months. Most of them will be play it first on Game Pass, and I'll be right there.
Yeah.
Sad that I didn't hear anything about a new Crash game or God of War.
Oh yeah. Well, I think. Oh gosh, I forget how long ago it was, but I feel like there was some article that at least talked about like, yeah, we probably are working on something for God of War, but we're just not showing it off yet, or something like that.
Mm.
That's really about it. I can't really say anything else. But yeah, I'm looking at. Yeah, I'm looking at the Guerrilla Collective right now. Just because I did watch that one too, and I'm just trying to remember if there was anything I caught, or rather that caught my eye. Um, I think the only one really was Nivalis actually, which was like a cyberpunk
Oh yeah,
style management game.
yeah. That actually, I thought that actually looked pretty good, and I'm not even really into much management, but I liked the cyberpunk look to it.
Yeah. It's another voxel 3D game though. Kind of like Ravenlock was, but
Mm-hmm.
so like voxels, it's very iffy for me if I'm gonna be into it or not. But it still looked interesting, and I don't know. Like management games are not really my thing, but this does look.
Yeah.
This at least looks fun to look at, and
Right.
I'm just
Oh
curious how it
yeah.
would play out. So
Yeah. There was a couple of them. There was yesterday a card based a card based slash turn based uh, music music of using music to fight against demons, and I was like, well, this looks great. I might actually play this. Um, just using cards, and I'm like, ugh, card games. Okay, yeah, broken English is over. I'm gonna give it to you. I'm done now.
okay,
Apparently, I've run out of words.
all right. Hang on one second, cause I just saw another game that I guess got shown off at the Future of Play Direct, which was also this over the weekend.
Saw
Um,
that.
oh yeah, sorry, you just mentioned that. My bad. Yeah. I had actually had that on my wish list. I don't even remember where I first saw this, but it
And
looks
that
really.
was
Um, it was the rhythm game. Uh,
oh
that was. Hang on, let me just see. It's a rhythm style RPG. That's all it really says right now. So yeah, I just like the art. That was pretty much it. So I think that's all. But yeah,
that's
that looks cool.
pretty much the only thing I did when it came to my wish list. Oh,
Yeah,
I like the art.
yeah. Oh yeah. Also, Anna mentioned it in the chat. There was a new trailer for the System Shock remake. So I took a look at that. Um, it's shaping up. Finally, glad we're getting some news about that game because it's kind of been in development hell for quite a while, and people were kind of worried, like, is it canceled again? And I guess finally, Night Dive was just like, okay, we finally have something to show off. Uh, here it is. Hopefully you like it. Um,
Here,
yeah.
stop annoying us.
I mean it's like because I mean System Shock is one of those games where I feel like it's still kind of niche, but whenever people talk about it, it's talked about with such reverency in terms of just like what of just about its influence, I guess. Because I mean, like, I think I've heard more about Shodan than like anything else in terms of like influential cyberpunk games. And I mean, like, I've watched a full playthrough of Snatcher, which was like an old cyberpunk game that Hideo Kojima worked on like years ago. Uh, and but it's like this. It was like Snatcher, um, Deus Ex, and System Shock, where it's like you talk about the quintessential cyberpunk games to play in your lifetime. Like these are the ones to play. So glad to see it's still being worked on. Because as much as I would like to go back to the old one, it looks kind of rough to really get into. So I would like to rely on this remake instead. That might upset some people, but you know. Anyway, so, oh yes, everyone shut up because when I woke up this morning, of all the things to expect just out of the blue, I was not expecting a celebration of the 10-year anniversary of Lollipop Chainsaw. Do you remember Lollipop Chainsaw?
Yes, I remember a lollipop chainsaw.
Okay. So, um apparently it went out earlier today and there was also a tweet from Suda51 celebrating the 10-year anniversary of Lollipop Chainsaw. Uh, Granted, Suda51 produced the game, but it was one of the concepts that he did work on back when it was in production as well. Um, but lo and behold, a little studio called Dragami Games is going to attempt to revive the Lollipop Chainsaw franchise.
Wait, the co-writer was James Gunn?
Yes, he not
The
only
James Gunn?
he not only co-wrote it, but he also was involved with composition and getting people of particular names in involved with music for the game as well. Uh, like
Wow.
uh, shoot, hang on, I have to look it up again because I need to get these names right. Because I know one of them is I want to say something urine, and that's not a joke because when you Uh, wait, are the musical references not represented here? They're not. Oh shoot. Okay. Hang on. I apologize. Maybe I should have had this on hand. But
Maybe. So,
yeah, so but anyway, yeah, there was a tweet by uh where is that dang article? There it is. Yeah, there was a tweet by Yoshimi Yasuda, former CEO of Kadokawa Games, um, announcing that his new company plans on revitalizing the game. There was a tweet about it, and that's all we know so far. So while there's nothing really yet, it's still just kind of one of those left field things where it's just like
so left field.
this came out of literally nowhere. Like I did not realize um this was even being talked about. Like it's not even like a Suda 51 niche fandom of the Kill the Past franchise kind of thing. Not even like a Tamagotchi type of thing, uh, or even like a Pets Cop uh urban rumor type of thing. Like just hey, remember this old game from 10 years ago? We're gonna bring it back. I'm like, for who? it like nothing against Lollipop Chainsaw. There were some things I genuinely enjoyed about it. Um, it was a fun little project. Uh, Granted, like some writing issues and localization issues aside, but it's just like I don't know whose this is for. But I guess there are people still really excited about this. So there we go. Anyway, just needed to get that out there because that was wild. Um,
Who else but Suda?
well, no, not Suda.
Not Suda?
Yeah, it's by Yasuda. Yoshimi Yasuda, I guess, will be heading up this revival project. I don't even know if Suda 51 is involved at all. Maybe he will be. Who
He
knows?
has to. This is so him though.
Possibly, but I don't know. Like it, like I don't know why this one out of everything in Suda 51's files that this one gets pulled out.
Wow.
Uh, Not a Killer 7 2 remake, not a No More Heroes 4, just just a Lollipop Chainsaw revival. Cause why not? Anyway, um, and also in half an hour from now, there will be new information regarding the Dragon's Dogma 10th anniversary as well. I don't even know what's happening right now. All I know is a show is getting made. I don't know if there's a game being made. I guess we will see in 30 minutes.
I guess.
But there we go.
Did you like Dragon's Dogma?
Uh, I've never actually played it. Except for like a little bit of the intro. It seems very interesting. The first bot I fought was just a big old troll that I
Yeah.
had to mount and stab in the back in order to get it to kneel. So Dragon's Dogma is a very weird Devil May Cry / Monster Hunter type of action game
Yeah.
where
That's
it's
what I
like
got from it.
yeah, but it's like it's set in medieval times and you get to choose classes and stuff like that. Uh
Yeah. It's
very
a weird hodgepodge.
yeah. But at the same time I will say the gameplay is very fun. And I've seen a lot of gameplay footage that makes me go, this game looks sick. So currently Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen is in my backlog right now
Same.
to eventually play at some point.
Eventually.
Yeah.
I do like the premise. The premise really had me hooked.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a very interesting premise. And I know that the people who have played Dragon's Dogma will not shut up about it and are constantly just like, I want a new Dragon's Dogma game. Please, Capcom, make one, please. We're
They do
begging
do that,
you.
don't they?
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah. Uh, and so far, the last thing that was Dragon's Dogma related was an original animated series back in 2020. And I'm pretty sure there's like a new show that's supposed to be coming out too, but I don't know. Maybe I had that
That's
wrong.
what I keep hearing.
Yeah. But that's it. Uh, but we'll see if there's anything else in the works. Uh, and then uh, Steam Next Fest came back again. Um, I did not have much time to go through that, and honestly, not a lot really stuck out to me from the little bit that I did see. um,
Yeah.
but I'll have to go through that a little bit later. For those who don't know, Steam Next Fest usually comes out around this time, and we'll always have like a bunch of indie games that you've never heard about just come out with demos. It's a great time just to like take a look through. It's at
It's
least cultured a little bit more than just the random stuff that you see being released on Steam. So I would say take a look at it. It's always a fun time. Uh, Finally, I know it's been talked about already, but I decided to dive into the Street Fighter 6 website because they updated it with some light descriptions of modes as well as the new mechanics. So I'll just go over this real quickly. So far, 5 characters have been shown off right now officially. Uh, Ryu, Chun-Li, newcomers Luke and Jamie, and returning member Guile, which was announced the weekend before.
mm-hmm.
Very cool. Uh, and we talked about the characters a little bit in our Devolver Digital. So again, if you want to see our impressions of that, go ahead and check out that episode. Um,
Get it, Sam.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is tough. This is I've talked about this before. This is really tough having to be like, okay, talk about relevant content.
Look at me.
Refer
Look
to
at
the
me.
channel. Look
Yes.
at me.
Yes.
But anyway, yes. So the fighting game modes that have been talked about are uh, the Fighting Ground, the Battle Hub, and World Tour. Fighting Ground just seems to be their standard multiplayer, which cool. That's good to know. Glad to see that's still there. I was very worried for a second. Uh, Battle Hub, which seems to be it seems to be like a reimagining of their casual multiplayer. So I guess so Fighting Ground is going to be like the quote unquote for glory mode, basically, or ranked mode for a multiplayer. Battle Hub is the casual for fun multiplayer. What's the most interesting is the World Tour mode, which is
It's a story mode.
yeah, a single player story mode. Um, on the website, it says this is a completely new experience that defies genre labels. Carve out your own legend on the streets. Look for more news on World Tour in the near future.
Defies genre labels. Didn't
Uh,
they look at Mortal Kombat?
yeah, that's the thing, right? So yeah, so
11's got a really cool story.
this so it's no secret that this mode has been done before. Speaking of Mortal Kombat, let's talk about Shaolin monks for one.
Ooh, yeah.
Deadly Alliance as well, I believe, had some mode similar to this. Um, there and also there were several other fighting games back in the past to have done something similar to this. Virtua Fighter with Virtua Quest, I believe. Um, not not guys, God Save the Ring from Square Enix, their Final Fantasy VII fighting game, but another game that they worked on also had a dungeon crawler mode in it. It's the weirdest thing ever. Anyway,
I
um,
forget all that.
there was
Number
also
6.
Destrega, which had a campaign story mode, and just weird.
Oh,
But
actually, I can contribute. Blaze
yes,
Blue has a wildly disconnected storyline.
yes, it does. And that's because every story, every character story is canon at the same time, not, but it's still related somehow. I don't know
Oh,
why.
dude, don't tell me that. Come on, man. Ugh.
There's a
Now I'm never gonna
reason.
finish that game.
There is a reason why, actually, and I can't believe it. It upsets me, actually.
It's Suda 51, isn't it?
But
What's up, nerd?
but the anyway, so there was a world tour mode in a previous Street Fighter game. I want to say Alpha, Street Fighter Alpha 3, um, or maybe it was Street Fighter 3. Let me confirm that real quick. Yes, the World Tour mode was in Alpha 3, where in that mode, this is all hearsay. Uh, this is just what I learned about it from
Mm.
someone else. But basically, it was a mode where you uh, you chose a specific fighter and then went through a series of like unique match modes, and it'd be stuff like you it's only one match, but you fight like three Kens and you're Ryu, or Ryu becomes evil Ryu for this one fight, but you have to fight Akuma three times or something like that. Normal attacks don't work. You can only win by throw. Stuff like that. So
Wow.
if we take stuff like that into consideration, and um, we put that towards this new World Tour mode for Street Fighter 6, possibly we'll see something kind of like that for this one, which would be cool. It'd be a different way to handle the kind of stale arcade mode uh, that's been like persistent for this time. I would like to see stuff like that, honestly, for a single player mode, because in my head it's like, well, it may not be like a proper match, but for single player content it's fine, because you know what's probably more fun than trying to figure out uh, the fatalities in Mortal Kombat?
What's that?
Playing Test Your Might with all modifiers on.
Ooh.
Or all random modifiers, where it's just, it becomes a nonsense mode. And
I
I think,
love nonsense.
yeah, like it's very clear, going off of older game fighting games as well, that if you have single player content with some nonsense going on, it's so much more fun to play. Like like Tekken 3 had a beat 'em up mode that did not work very well, but it was there. Had a volleyball mode. Uh, Bloody Roar had a no cage mode, had a no cage mode, which allowed you to just send characters flying out of the ring, like not even just Soul Calibur style. Like literally, I drop kick them and they just fly, like 50 feet into traffic or something like that. Um, so it's very clear that like yes, you should do more fun like party modes or like modified modes. Things to like uh things to give more variety to the single player
Mm-hmm.
mode. Like I was honestly surprised that Break the Car never came back for Street Fighter 5, even though that and Break the Barrels was put into Street Fighter 4's arcade mode.
That
Uh
is weird.
yeah, never got implemented in any of the arcade modes in Street Fighter 5. Um even the version arcade modes that they added in later, which was
Mm-hmm.
crazy to me. So yeah, that would be really cool. We'll have to see once they release more information on that moving forward.
Yeah.
So, uh, aside from that, they have a new battle system called the Drive System, and um, it's basically something similar to what Mortal Kombat 11 did, where you have your standard meter, which lets you do like supers and stuff. But for the drive system in Street Fighter 6, if I understand this correctly, it works. It allows you to do. Oh wait, actually, it's right here. Sorry. there are there are five things you can do with this meter. Something called drive impact, drive parry, overdrive, drive rush, and drive reversal. And each of these mechanics are actually something from a previous game. Drive impact is actually um oh whoops, it accidentally went to Spanish mode. That's not what I wanted. Sorry.
Well, that's
Um,
random.
it's actually something similar to Street Fighter 4 with their focus attack. But this one, it can not only absorb an attack, but if you do this in a corner, it can induce a wall splat. And uh, this was actually big because in the mechanics video that they uploaded to their YouTube channel, you can possibly run out of this drive meter. And if you run out of it, you go into an exhaustion state. But then if you get hit while in that exhaustion state, uh, that's when critical stun happens.
Mm-hmm.
So this basic, so this not only means that your opponent cannot do anything, but they take more damage as well. Uh, but the drive meter refills faster in that meantime.
Mm.
So,
Huh.
uh, so doing drive impact in the corner basically means uh, this is like a free combo for you to do. Um, Essentially, like it's a combo extension, if that makes more sense. Uh,
Right.
which is interesting. It's uh, it's like a more direct, aggressive way to do more damage um, compared to Street Fighter 5, where I guess like um, they eased up on inputs, I think, so that like and had more specific combo routes for characters, uh, so that like doing combos was easier in Street Fighter 5. But then a lot of pro players complained that it didn't allow for a lot of expression when they played certain characters.
Mm.
um, which was a complaint. So I guess like drive impact is sort of a way to mitigate that, where it's like it's still a universal mechanic, but it doesn't directly affect the character themselves, where it's like they can only move a certain way. Uh, if that makes sense. If there's anything you don't understand, please let me know, because there's some like mid-level to high-level concepts for like tournament play that I'm talking
I
about
got
here.
you. Okay.
Yeah, and then there's the drive parry, pretty self-explanatory. Just lets you parry a move. There's a standard parry and a perfect parry. The standard parry, it, it's it's still hard to understand because like I'm not sure how exactly it works compared to a perfect parry. But I think like a perfect parry will allow you to be able to counter immediately, whereas a standard parry um, will not let you necessarily get advantage, but it will let you to continue to like just defend and not worry about like uh, getting caught off guard by any particular attack. Like if you know, okay, so like for example, if you get hit by um, Chun-Li's lightning legs and say it's like 6 hits just for the
Mm-hmm.
standard one. Even if you don't perfect parry, you could still hold. You can still like sort of do the standard parry and at least still be safe after you parry the full attack.
Okay.
So it's much more defensive, and while like getting the perfect parry would be more advantageous, at least doing the standard parry will keep you in a safer situation and not leave you at disadvantage. Uh, Overdrive, this essentially takes the place of EX moves, where in previous Street Fighter games you had to use meter in order to use it, whereas for Street Fighter 6, these will cost 2 bars of the drive meter in order to use. So it's a bit more costly compared to drive parry and impact. But essentially, now you don't even really have to worry about not having access to your super or critical art anymore if you use an EX move. So that's pretty cool too. Uh, Drive Rush. This is uh, I guess it's like a cancel in a way. Like it's basically a cancel dash. So this one uh, it's like both a offensive and a defensive mechanic, and lets you like reposition after certain attacks. So like um, say like if you do a parry, but then like realize, oh, if I cancel into a dash, I could if I cancel into a dash, I can then start my own combo from there or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. Um, so I guess this one uh, it's a more aggressive type of mechanic as opposed to the parrying where it's like you can try to catch them off guard or you can push your offensive. Um, and this one is interesting because from a parry it costs one bar, but if you do it from like a regular attack, it costs 3. So that means if you use this one, half of your drive meter is gone. If you do it from a normal attack, um, which which will add more to like meter management and trying to figure out like, okay, do you want to like hold on to that drive gauge and use it for more EX moves, or do you want to be more safe and conserve it for parries or impacts, and just wait uh, for like a better opportunity just to counter from.
Yeah. So they're just changing the game up a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then drive reversal. And this is basically the V shift mechanic that they used for Street Fighter Five. Sorry, hang on. And that one, it's basically just a hey, just get off of me. I'm tired of taking attacks from you, and just push them off you. Um, I suppose it's kind of like the burst from Guilty Gear Strive. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not. But I'm not sure how much spacing this reversal gives you. So I'm not entirely sure. But that's pretty much it. But it is interesting that like Capcom has decided to essentially apply a mechanic from that was sort of introduced from Mortal Kombat 11
Mm-hmm.
and try to apply it in a different way here. Um, and just essentially giving you all these mechanics that are more universal options. Uh, so like like focusing on what are mechanics that we can give to the players and not have them tied to the characters, because that was something that they did more with Street Fighter Five with like the V skills and V triggers, where it was just like uh, let's let's turn these kind of special moves into metered skills instead.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. But you know, I'm I'm still not like I'm not a pro player. I'm just very into fighting games. That's all I can really say. So that's just my assessment of it. They also announced that they will be reintroducing a modern control and a classic control system. So classic control is the standard 6 button layout: light, medium, heavy punch, light, medium, heavy kick. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
modern control is a little bit more interesting. I don't think it's necessarily better, but I do think it'll make things much easier for casual people to get into. Looking on the website, um, they have an assisted combo button. So as long as you press that button, it will just do a specific combo for you, which is pretty cool. I guess it's like a different version of the auto combos that we've been seeing in a lot of fighting games recently.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, drive impact and drive parry are on the shoulder buttons. So I guess for classic mode, uh, you'll have to do a different input maybe, or maybe you can still set it for those. But what's interesting is that uh, punches punches and kicks are combined, so you only have light attack, medium attack, heavy attack, and then the special move. So it's kind of like Marvel vs. Capcom style, where it's a 4 button layout. Um, but what's interesting I noticed is that the special button kind of works like the B button in Smash. So if you press it on neutral, for example, for Ryu, you get his fireball. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if you do the special button and back, you get his tornado kick. If you do the special button forward, you get his dragon punch. And if you do the special button down, you get his donkey kick. Uh, with and for supers, if you press the special button and heavy attack, it works the same way. Forward is the Shinku Hadoken. Back is I think his power up state. Um, and then down is his Shin Sharyuken. Oh, okay, here we go. So for assisted combo, if you start with the assisted combo button and then just mash one of the buttons, light, medium, or heavy, it does different combos. Um, so that's very cool. Actually, that makes it very similar to Dragon Ball Fighters then, where Dragon Ball Fighters, depending on what strength button you mashed, you got a different combo. Where mashing the heavy button was the only one that gave you a super at the end of it. And oh yeah, there's something about um, real time commentary where you'll get esports broadcasters commentating your match for you. I don't really know how that's gonna turn out. It's kind of an iffy thing, honestly. It's only been done once before by
Hopefully, it's not a bunch of talking.
well, it is a bunch of talking, unfortunately, but it's supposed to be like a constructive breakdown of the match itself, which could be interesting. It could be cool. It could possibly be helpful, but in all honesty, I haven't really seen it work out super well every time it's been tried. It really depends on how they handled it. Handle it is the thing. And I mean, like, as far as the English speaking side goes, the commentary is handled by Jeremy Vicious Lopez, who has handled commentary for the Street Fighter League as well as the Capcom Pro Tour
Hmm.
for all this time right now. So in terms of like actually commentating, like they did get one of the right guys. Uh, I'm honestly surprised that Yipes Mendoza from New York City was not reached out. Uh,
Mm.
if you don't know who that is, just look up Curly Mustache on YouTube, uh, and you might remember who he is. But yeah, again, I'm kind of iffy on this mechanic. Don't know how helpful it'll exactly be because that's a lot of scenarios you have to accommodate for. It's like it's not just like who's at advantage and stuff like that, but also just like, ooh, that was a bad whiff, bad punish, stuff like that. So who knows? Anyway, I'm still excited about Street Fighter Six, but that's about it. And I think that'll be all from us for today. That was a lot of stuff to get through. My throat's hurting, so Jonathan, could you roll us out?
Okay. Well, hey guys, if you like what you heard about today, we have plenty of more episodes that you can watch over on our YouTube page. You can also find us writing at on Geeks Under Grace, um, and you can join our Discord if you want. Maybe, maybe not. uh, but yeah, see you guys later, and we hope that you find some games that you enjoy playing yourself. See you later.
Bye.